Okay, so it's time for another loco review, and today we're looking at a steam loco, as all the rail enthusiasts should know that by now. And today we're having a look at a model made by Hornby, as you can see, by the famous logo on the corner of the box there. And today we are having a look at the Southern Region Schools Class loco from Hornby, which is, well, at the time of filming, has just arrived in the post. And it came from S&J Models. And this one is called Wellington, and its running number is 902 in the Southern Region Green. It doesn't say that on the end of the box, but it is in Southern Region Green, as you can see on the box cover. And it's about time that I had one of these in my collection, as I'm sure you'll all agree, because I did have one of these on my wish list, and so now I've finally got my hands on one. And she's an absolute beauty. I haven't opened her up yet, but I can tell she's going to be a beauty because of the photograph on the front there. So, we'll not waste any time, let's get this model open and see what she's like. Okay, so that's just fallen out. So this proves it comes from S&J Models, as you can see. So it's this stock always wanted thing. Top prices paid. Not entirely true, because you wouldn't really get much even if you did give them stock to them. At least I doubt you would anyway. So on the back we have the brief history of the schools class. They were designed by Richard Maunsell and they were built at Eastleigh Works in 1930 to 1935, and a total of 40 were produced. And they were a cut down version of the Lord Nelson. And they were the last loco in Britain to have the 440 wheel arrangement. And they were the most powerful class of 440 in the whole Europe as well. Trust me, they were. And all 40 were named after English public schools. Pretty much is the reason why they were called schools class. And these could be used on lines with restricted loading gauge because they had the King Arthur firebox. And they operated until 1961, when mass withdrawals took place in December. Well, they had all gone by December 1962. And after 1961, mass withdrawals took place. And so 3 of these class of locomotives have survived the cutter's torch. These being Cheltenham, Stow and Repton. Only one of these at this point is in operational condition, and that is Cheltenham, which returned to service in 2012, in which it appeared at Railfest, in which I went to, and you can see a video on that on YouTube. And it also appeared at the Severn Valley Railways Autumn Steam Gala last year as well, in which you can also find that video on YouTube. Since coming back to steam, she has also appeared on other heritage railways as well. And I do believe that Cheltenham is based at the Mid-Hants Railway, if I remember correctly. Stow is preserved on the Bluebell, which is undergoing an overhaul. And Repton, well, it's pretty much in the same state, undergoing an overhaul, in which is at the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, which is quite interesting. So there's quite a history on this class of locomotive. Okay, so we'll move on to the opening of the packaging, in which, as we can see, it uses the split box packaging, which is my favourite packaging out of everyone else. And the reason I love this packaging, as I've said before, is because you don't really get this packaging with anybody else. It's quite unique. So there's the bog standard Hornby box. Then you have the white card insert, which just tells us what this is. SR440 Schools Class Wellington, number R2745, and it's DCC ready, but I don't really care. And so here we have the instructions. Oh, we have a DCC jacket. Oh ho ho! Yeah, the most useless thing that Hornby's given to us. And it's still wrapped in the tissue paper. Well, that's the right side, it should go up. So here we have the instructions for the schools class, in which these are the first instructions I've got for this locomotive. So these are going to my folder later on. So it's lubrication, as you can see, fitting the accessories on, which should be quite fun, the closed coupling connection and the assembly, in which it looks like it used the socket connection with the wires. So I might have to put on the detail first, because I find if you put the 10 connection first, then add the details, it is quite of a pain. And then there's the DCC ready instructions and the body removal. We've all seen this before. And how to fit the brake rods. Television, shoe pressure, not that I care, and spare parts and service. And the important notice. Yeah, it's just about the packaging really. So I'll put those to one side. Then we'll take off these plastic bands. We all know how to work this packaging because it's appeared in several of my videos. And then we'll just take off the plastic cover. And then we should be able to get to these details now. Ah yes, can. So just fetch that bit of tape off. I wondered where these have got to. I've just found some rather soggy instructions for the 45XX Prairie tank. As you can see, so I'll have to put them on the radiator later to dry before sticking it in the folder. But we're not here to talk about the soggy instructions that I've just found on the floor. We are here to talk about, well, in this bit we're here to talk about the details. So we have the brake rods to fit under the loco and the tender, of course. The steps, the drain cocks, a chain link coupling in there, and a few of the vacuum pipes and brake pipes. And a spare coupling, which I think is either for the front or the back of the loco. If there's already one on the tender, then it would be for the front. But then if there's not one on the tender, then it would be for the tender. That was quite a mouthful there, I just said. Okay. So the top is now off. I don't mean my t-shirt has just come off, I mean the top of the box. So let's lift this beauty out of the box. And we have a bit of plastic card there, in which must have been used to secure this model in place. And there's a nice bit of foam there as well, to also help secure it. So yeah, quite interesting. I mean, usually you get plastic clips in there that you have to undo screws off, but in that case you don't. Okay. So it's all wrapped in the tissue paper, so let's get it unwrapped. So, we'll look at the locomotive first, and then we'll save the tender till last. The tender till last. Oh wow. She's absolutely gorgeous. So we'll get rid of the tissue paper, and then we'll have a look at this rather handsome locomotive. Wow, just look at how sexy she is. I know that's going to sound weird because I've just called one of my models sexy, but she is. Okay, so where do we begin? Well, for starters, there's quite a lot of weight on this model. She really is quite heavy. But we need the weight because it's important, because if she has no weight at all, she can't pull anything, and then she's not really a proper locomotive. And then she's only good for sitting on your shelf, really. You have a nice freewheel bogie there at the front, because there needs to be, so it can get around the bends. And the wheels are a nice green as well. They do match that with the body. Well, of course, because if there was a lighter shade of green, it would just not look right. And you get nice cylinders there as well. And just look at the link motion and the valve gear and the side rods. Just look at that. It's all done so professionally and accurately. Then you have all the sanding gear there as well. And then you have some pipe in there, and you get rivets on the running board, as you can see, and a reversing lever, which is painted, and that basically moves when the driver puts the locomotive into reverse. Then there's the nameplate, Wellington. It's not named after the footwear you wear in your shoe, it's named after the public school, as we've said before. And just look at the yellow lining, it really makes this model stand out. So it's really stunning. You get some more pipe work there as well, along with the safety valves on the whistle. There's glazing in all the cab windows, a lot there should be. There's even rivets on the cab. You get no cab vent, but then this class of loco didn't have that. And there's the running number, 902. And I just love the emboss they've done on that. That's really stunning. And there's some cab steps for the back, so the ones you get in the pack are for the front. Well, of course they are. And these have got rivets on them as well. And yes, there's the tender connection, so yeah, it is the wire and plug style one. So I will add the details on first before I connect it up, because it can be a pain to do it afterwards. The foot brake detail is very nice. Oh wow, and just look at that cab detail. That is really impressive. Just look at that, it's all painted. They've even painted the inside of the cab cream as well. That is seriously one impressive cab. And you get some rivets here as well, on the back of the loco. You even get some gold piping coming down the bottom of the loco there as well, under the running board. I mean, just look at that. All the pipes, the dials and the gauges and the lever and the little turning wheels there, or hand wheels. It's all painted. And it really looks rather stunning. And you get a nice dome at the top there as well. And these details here as well, which I don't know what they are, but there's rivets around there as well. And there's even rivets on the top of the smoke box and the boiler as well. And you get a nice chimney there as well, so you could fit a smoke generating unit in there if you wanted, but I'm not really going to do that. At least not anytime soon, and I don't think I will anyway. And you have, of course, sprung buffers, so that will make the rivet counters happy. You get lamp irons on the model, as you can see. There's even rivets on the buffer beam. Well, a few rivets, but they're there. And there's the running board, 902, and that's the hole where the chain link coupling goes into, and then you get the brake pipe at the front. There's even rivets on the smoke box door, and as you can see, the smoke box door is very nice detailed and it's very accurate. There's even separately added handrails on there, and so that looks really rather impressive. It doesn't open, but it doesn't need to, as far as I'm concerned. And what I love about this model is that you even got green paint and yellow lining added onto the smoke deflectors, so it looks really rather awesome. In real life though, they first appeared without the smoke deflectors, and then later had them. Hornby do make models of these without the smoke deflectors, but I just think they look odd without them, so I prefer them with the smoke deflectors because they do look much better. And then on the other side, you got, well, of course, on both sides, you've got the metal handrails which go down the side. There's some more brass pipe work, and then there's the link motion again, and the nameplate, Wellington, and more rivets, as you can see. And you get some more pipe work there as well, from under the running board and down under the steps, and more rivets on the cab as well. Wow, this is one seriously impressive locomotive. So that's the locomotive done. Now we can look at the tender. So I'm just careful unwrapping it. Ah yes, so there's already a coupling on the tender, so the one in the detail bag must be the one for the locomotive, but I don't really plan to add one on the front of the loco anyway, because it's not like I'm going to use it for shunting, because these are passenger locos. So what can I say about the tender? Well, there's a fair bit of weight in that, but it's not too heavy, but then it's not too light either, but there is some weight in there. So the faceplate of the tender, there's some nice rivets on there, and there's some cab steps, and there's actual boxes and springs on the underframe, as you can see, and that's where the brake rods fit into, as well as the plug socket. And then, as you can see, it uses the dovetail connector. Well, the coupling does anyway, which is very nice. And again, you've got sprung buffers on the back, because the front ones were. And there's a brake pipe on the back, as well as some more lamp irons and some other details. And again, superbly accurate livery with the southern lettering on the side of the tender, as you can see. And just love the embossed on it. And you get some separately put on handrails as well, as you can see on the tender. And there's even some small rivets there on the bottom, as you can see. And that's where the water goes into, so it's the water filler cap. And you get some more detail here on the tender, and the coal, I think it might just be removable. Yeah, it is removable, but seems to be hard to get out. The only thing that's slightly worrying is that it looks like it's going to be one of them things they did with the B1. And what I mean by that, the removable coal piece looks like it's attached to the bit that goes in the chute. Yeah, it is, but it's not like they did it on the B1, so you can still put it back in again. But I will cut that little bit off and glue it into the chute, because otherwise, if not, all the glue will just run out of the tender and spoil it. But the coal's removable, so we can put it back in. At least I hope we can. Yes, we can put it back in. So I don't mind if they do coal pieces like that are removable, but as long as you can put them back in again. And of course, you've got the detail on the faceplate of the tender as well. Wow. I mean, it's not painted, but it's there. But wow, what a locomotive. I mean, she's just really stunning. I can't fault the detail at all. So, let's get these details added on, and then we can put her on the track. And I am really looking forward to how she runs. Okay, so here we are at the track, putting the schools class onto the rails. And I've just slightly knocked the camera there, so I apologise. Okay. So she's on the rails. Let's give her a wiggle. Oh yeah, look at that. She works. Wow, she's running brilliantly. And just look at how smooth she runs. Just look at all that link motion. So there she goes under the bridge, over the level crossing and into the tunnel, where she will pop out the other end. I think that sounds slightly wrong, doesn't it? Peekaboo, there she is. And then she goes past the signal box and through the station. And then she's just passing the seaside, which still needs some people on. But that'll be done later. Then past the engine sheds where our engine court is waiting. Switch next duties. And then back around here again. So now we're going to see Wellington haul the rake of Southern Region stock. As you can see. Now that just looks ace. Okay. So let's get her going. Oh yeah, look at that. There's no problems there at all. So all in all, she's a fantastic model. I can't pick any faults with her. She's absolutely superb. I highly recommend you get one of these, because you won't be disappointed. You know, for a model as detailed as this, and so smooth running, then why not get one of these? Even if you don't collect steam locos, you still have to get one, because your collection will not be complete without one of these.
So I come on the bus like, you know, so it's on two buses a day, all going to Kiddie and get one from Kiddie, so I got one from Kiddie. Couldn't see the point of coming early. Chip shop on the opposite road, easy. Well, supermarkets down the town, haven't they? So Tesco's and whatever. They got captain, probably. I thought, well, I don't know what's going to be in.
I've got a camera, the batteries are gone.
You're joking? You got all the way in, like?
Oh, yeah.